Wondering what life is really like on Canada's wild and crazy West Coast? This podcast is all about the people, the places, and Vancouver Island time. Together, we'll explore this island paradise, a combination of ocean, city, and country living. We'll meet the fabulous locals such as the Fudge Fairy and the Chicken Lady, who have chosen Victoria and Vancouver Island as their home. And we'll learn what makes this place unique and special to those who live here. And now, your host of Vancouver Island Time, Jane Johnston.
Hi everybody, it's Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun, and I'm host of Vancouver Island Time. And this week we're talking to Erin Acton. Erin lives in the Maplewood area, and she moved here from another city, so we'll talk about her transfer here and how that transition was for her. And then she's also a coach, and tell us a bit about that.
Yes, I'm a business coach, so I love to help business owners take it to the next level, whatever that means for them.
Perfect. Okay, so tell me a bit about Maplewood. What do you love about living here?
I love that things grow here. I think they do in lots of different areas, but there's just so much fun that you can have in this area, particularly because of the tiers and stuff like that. Like we've got this level, then we've got another level down, and then another level after that. So I love being able to do that and have different gardens. I love that it's so close to the school. It's just down the hill. So it makes drop off and pick up really easy and convenient on the way, usually to my husband's place of work. So it's really convenient for me because he does that. And then if I need to hop down there, it's a hop, skip, and a jump. And she's been going to daycare there even, since she was a toddler. So it's just that consistency for her, which is great. And I love the neighbors. We live on a panhandle lot, and we have get-togethers over the summer, and the kids play together because they're young kids, and they just whip their bikes up and down the panhandle, so they feel safe. Well, they probably don't care. I feel safe. And they have a really great time, and they're forming friendships that I think they're going to last a long time.
So you're not a native Victorian, as many people aren't. What was it that helped you make a decision to move to Victoria?
Yeah, we decided to move, my then boyfriend and I, we decided to move here. We were in Kamloops at the time, and he really wanted to get a job with the government. So we decided, okay, well, how do you get a job with the government? Well, you can't because of seniority here in Victoria. We wanted to move here. And so we moved to Prince George first because lots of jobs there, lots of opportunity there. And that's what we did. We had the 2-year plan to move to Prince George, which I think a lot of people do. But then they end up staying longer because it's a great community. I just have to say that for anyone worried about moving to Prince George. It's a great community. And then we moved down here. He in about 2.5 years, and then I came down in 3 years.
And so you had all sorts of areas of Victoria to pick. What made you pick Maplewood?
We loved that it was close to downtown without being downtown. And it's, for us at the time, it's an easy bike ride to town to work and play. And it's also so convenient to get to the ferry and to the airport because our families are off island. And so it's great to be able to take a 2-minute drive down the hill and be on the highway and straight out to the ferry and the airport terminal.
So what do you do for fun around here? Because you are on a fairly busy road here. We're on Tattersall, which is just west of Maplewood. But what do you do for fun on the other side of Maplewood?
Yes, I love going for walks. That's what I love to do. And we're so close to a beautiful chip trail. It's in a municipal park, and that's my kind of zen place. That's a place where I get to go when I'm feeling stressed or even just for my daily walk. I get to see nature. I get to be in the trees, be in the sunshine a little bit too. I just love that. And then we're really close to a couple of the cycling trails as well. And now that our daughter's getting older and really quite mobile on a bike, she is like, let's go for a bike ride. And so we'll hop over to the trails, which are really quite close to here. And they're off Tattersall.
So the park that you're walking in is Cedar Hill, and that's a golf course too. Do you ever golf there?
I have golfed there once. I'm not a huge golfer. I do every once in a while. And I think my husband's golfed there quite a few times. It's nice just to sling your clubs on your back and walk over.
Yeah, and it's actually not too expensive either. So a lot of companies have their golf tournaments there, I've found.
Yeah, I definitely see lots of what appear to be tournaments.
So, and the trails that you're talking about, what are the names?
There's the cycling trails around here. There's Lochside Trail, which runs up the peninsula, and a very convenient location. There's like an ice cream store, a really famous ice cream place, beautiful stores throughout, mini golf area. So you can make a day of it and have a not too bad ride. Or you can ride a little bit further and make it to Elk Lake and spend the afternoon on the beach there. Or we will also hop onto the Galloping Goose and either ride out to Thetis Lake, which is another gorgeous lake, to have a lot of fun in the afternoon, or in the morning, but really the afternoon, or even downtown to the Trestle and the Selkirk Waterway. They're just so easy to get to, and so much fun once you're there.
Mm-hmm. So you have your choice of fresh or salt water, with the lakes obviously being fresh water. I noticed yesterday, actually, when I was driving home, that a lot of kids are going to the lakes right now. Thetis Lake is very popular with high school kids.
Yeah.
And also with young kids.
Yeah.
Okay. What about things so that people consider? Like, where do you shop for food around here?
There are a few different places that are really convenient. I do most of my shopping at Thrifty Foods. It's right down the hill. It's right next to my daughter's school, so it's so convenient just to park, pick her up, grab the groceries, and be done. I love that because it's fast and convenient. But there are others, too, really close. There's a Save-On nearby that I really love. There's also a really cool place, and I'm just blanking on the name, but we'll go there. It's at the corner of Mackenzie and Blenkinsop. So those tend to be the main spots. And then there's another Thrifty's that's so close. This one is close to the liquor store. So, if I need that on a particularly long day, I'll go there too. So that usually will depend. What do I need to do? Do I have to get my daughter? Okay.
Some limes for your margarita.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
What about, do you go to the Whole Foods? So there's new Whole Foods at Uptown Mall.
Yeah, it's one of my daughter's favorite stores, actually. We don't go there all the time, but we do definitely go there, and she quite enjoys it. We tend to go to the library there a lot, and the library there a lot at Uptown.
And actually, Uptown, when it was first built, it had a lot of negativity around it because the buildings are quite close to the road. But what they've done is build this really nice courtyard in the middle.
Yeah, I love it. And when my daughter was younger, she would just play in there. I wasn't with her all the time, but sometimes even in her underwear, just running around in the water park because there are these cool little fountains. And I love it. I love the feel and the vibe of Uptown Mall. It's just really great. A couple coffee shops and so convenient.
Yeah, actually, they had between the buildings, they had a zip line, which we did one time.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing! I didn't know that. That's very cool.
It was fun. They've got a good community, good business association, I guess, going on there. So, and what about for dinner and things like that?
We seldom eat out, so I wouldn't be the person that I would be highly recommending, like tons of restaurants. I know we've got lots, but I'm usually looking to other people for recommendations. But one place that we have gone to a few times that we enjoy and that our daughter enjoys is Bin 4 Burger Lounge, just down the street from us.
Favorite burger at Bin 4?
The truffle burger.
So that's with mushrooms?
Yes, it has mushrooms, but they also add in truffle oil, like they do it. And then I get the truffle aioli as well. I just truffle it up with the truffle burger. That's what you do. You go bigger, you go home with the truffle burger. And then I love it with like a Fat Tug, which is one of our local breweries, beer in town too. Yeah.
I get the Heritage Burger because they have salsa and guacamole on it and a bit of ham. It's a really unusual combination, but yummy.
I'm salivating just thinking about that.
Have you been to Lot 1?
I have not.
So that's the same company, and they've built a restaurant for pasta. It's a pasta bar. So it's and if you're gluten free, I'm probably sure they probably have fruit and glee stuff for you to choose.
You just said fruit and glee.
I know, it's more fun.
Okay. Oh.
It's more fun if it's fruit and glee.
It probably is.
Anyway, okay. So obviously you have a young child.
Yeah.
So what do you do with her other than biking around?
There are so many great parks. We will often go to the park. One of our favorites is Cadborough Bay, and that's great because it has a giant playground, plus really cool structures. Like there's this octopus structure that's huge, and I want to say like it's at least 1.5 stories high kind of idea, but so much fun for the kids to crawl in and other stuff as well. And if she's into that, great. Then we have some fun there. But lately she's been really loving exploring the beach. So we'll do the beach part of things and create things in the sand or just look for shells. And it seems like we could spend hours there, and we usually just end up saying, okay, it's time to go home, like dragging her home. So that's what we've been doing.
I find they have a really great beach because it's so flat. Like the water's quite cold here, but the flatness of the beach makes the water warm up a bit.
Yes, I wouldn't say it really feels warmed up. It's freezing. I don't go in, and that's okay. I get teased about that, but that's fine. I just, it's nice if it's a hot day. It's really actually quite nice to be down by the water because it cools you off so much.
Yeah, and I think there's a temperature differential of about a couple of degrees at least between going up at the top there. Okay, and then kids around here, what's the demographics of where you're living?
I don't know. One thing I would say, if anyone's thinking about living on this street, is that we don't get any Halloween visitors. And I think because we don't have a sidewalk on this side of the street, and also because our driveway's longer, and so either it looks inaccessible or whatever. And so we haven't seen a huge number of kids. We know that there are kids in the neighborhood because we live in the Panhandle and talk to them. But I don't know a whole lot about the demographics.
So where do you go for Halloween?
It's just right across the street. There is what I call it, a cul-de-sac kind of neighborhood. There are a number, at least two. Well, a number. There are 2 roads that have no exits, and we make a nice loop of it. It's the perfect length. It's about an hour. The kids get enough candy. They feel really excited and satisfied, and they have a good time. We have a good time. It's good.
So is there a parental tax on Halloween goods?
Is there not a parental tax on Halloween?
For me, it's 10%.
I don't think we have a number. I think it's what will we get away with taking without her noticing. I don't know. Is that wrong? Are we instilling bad ethics in our daughter, stealing her candy? I don't know. But she usually, though, she's awesome. She's like, do you want this, Mom? Or do you want this, Dad? So she's sharing too, just as long as she's got enough.
I'm just like one big bag and dig in.
Yeah, I am too. Our daughter has her own organizational method. She'll usually put some here and then some there, and then we'll combine them later, save them in the cupboard. She self-manages. It's really great. They last a few months. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at your garden here. Let's just get back to the gardening. Tell me why there's a little bit of a fence behind us.
Yes, we have deer. We're on a deer route, which is beautiful. And the gardener that I used to be would cry a lot because they eat our hostas and stuff like that. I've just learned to grow different types of things, and there are so many things that they don't eat. And just knowing if I'm going to plant, a hydrangea or something, they're going to eat all the flowers. They're going to eat all the leaves. So I gave those away because I just didn't. It broke my heart every time. I think maybe this year it'll be safe. Yeah, no. So I've just decided to plant things that I know they tend not to eat. And then we get to see the fawns in the spring, which has been amazing. Last year, not this year yet, but last year, one of the fawns, the mom would leave her in our yard. And so we get to see it all nestled up. We wouldn't approach it, of course, but I loved that the mother thought it was safe to leave her baby here, and it was just so cool to have that on our property. And then other times we had 4 bucks coming through here just over the hill and just hanging out, doing their bro thing, I guess, before the rut, I'm sure, in the off season. Even though I grew up in the Kootenays, which is much more, let's just say, remote than Victoria. It's nowhere near a city. I see way more deer. I'm able to be so much more close to the deer than I was ever there growing up. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I find that around my house. We have quails, rabbits, and deer, and it's like a Bambi scene, like when I drive up to my house.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. It is. And actually, one time I saw all these little quails. I thought I didn't know what I was looking at. It looked like this big black hump. And it turns out that one of the things they do when they're feeling like a predator is going to come over is they glam together and they like little magnets, and they're all silent. And then they split up, and there were 17 little, we called them quailets.
Wow. That sounds so cool.
It was very cool. I unfortunately didn't get it on tape because I was just in the moment, but yeah, it was very cool. Anyway, okay, so now you've had a great overview of the Maplewood area. If you're interested in more information, you can contact me. I'm Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun. And if you stay tuned, we're going to come back, and Erin's going to tell us about her business, and she has a number of interesting facts that she can explain to us about who she works with and the type of work that she does. And if you want to see our other shows, we're on VancouverIslandTime.com. You can find us on Facebook at Vancouver Island Time, and we're also on iTunes, TuneIn, and Stitcher. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Vancouver Island Time is brought to you by the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun, Victoria, where we bring local expertise and global presence to your property.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun and host of Vancouver Island Time. And I'm here with Erin Acton of Erin Acton Consulting. And she's also the managing director of Ewomen Network here in Victoria, British Columbia, which is an international organization. But I want to first talk about Erin Acton Consulting. So you have been doing this for how long, and how did you get into it? I know your story, but maybe you could share it with everybody.
I've been doing it for about 4 years now, and I got into it from being in corporate for 18 years, previously broadcaster, but most lately doing communications work and leading the communications for a $50 million company, and really loving the way that looked on my resume and that I could say that, except really getting to that place where I was burnt out, where I was just working harder, faster, longer, and I didn't know how to get out of that. And got to the point where I realized, too, on top of that, was one of the main reasons I wasn't in the very best job for me, in the best position for me. And that's part of the reason I was working so hard, so long, trying to do it faster, and decided, okay, well, this doesn't seem like it's the right fit for me. What am I going to do? Turned out coaching and speaking and leading other women was exactly what I wanted to do. And I said, do people do that for a living? Turns out, wow, people do. They do coaching. They do speaking. I was like, okay.
So did you get any special training for that?
I sure did. I went as soon as I learned that, I was like, okay, I want to do this the right way. I'm going to go to school. I got certified by a company. It's called Ericsson International, and it's an accredited organization certified by the International Coach Federation. So I felt very comfortable going to that school because it's been around for about probably 25 years now, and it's established, it's credible, and I just loved the training that I got there, and that I got to train with people from around the world.
And so how many people in a cohort?
It would depend, of course, from each module. There were about, I'm going to say a good 15 of us that were in the group the whole way along.
And how long does that take for someone who might be interested in transitioning?
I think all told, it was about a year.
So there's lots of different certifications depending. So they have life coach, they have business coach, they have other types of coaches. How would you define your coaching?
I love working with people, not so much on the things that you could, say, Google, or work with someone to tell you how to do things. So I'm not going to be the person who works with you on a business plan, for example, or a marketing strategy. But I'm the person you're going to want to go to work on your soft skills. So when you've already got the business plan in place, when you know exactly what you need to do to market yourself or do sales, but things aren't happening, or you want to get to that next level and you're not sure how to go there, then I'm your gal. That's where the magic really happens and where we really get to dig in and go, okay, so what is happening? Where do you want to get to with your business? What have you been doing so far? And how might you need to grow a little bit to get to that place that you want to get to?
So can you give us an example of a transformation that's happened for a client that's been kind of groundbreaking?
Well, I think what I'd love to share is about when I was very first coaching, like when I was just getting out there and feeling kind of wet behind the ears still, working with someone who she'd always wanted to start a business. She just she was just, do I leave this secure job that I have now, but that is really stressful, to go out and do a business that I've always wanted to do? Or do I just keep staying here? And so she said, no, I want to start a business. So we worked together. She did her business. She launched it. We worked together about 3 months at that time. And then, years passed. She's grown this business. She's out there. She's rocking it. But now she's like, I need to get to the next level. How are we going to do that? So what we've been doing is working together to get her to that next level, to not only break the 6-figure mark, but to double that in her business. And to be able to work with her on that has been really remarkable and so much fun.
I think any business, when it comes down to it, is a people business, right? It's about the transformation from where they are now to where they're going to be. That's what I find it even in real estate too.
It's always about who am I now and who do I want to be? And then how am I going to get there? And then when you get there, in air quotes, okay, what's that next step after that? And what do I need to tweak, change, do differently for next time?
So with Ewomen Network, as the managing director, you get people in when they're kind of newbies, like with baby skin. They're all gentle and soft, and they're, trying to work it out, and they're coming new to the entrepreneurship game. So who's a typical person who would come to that group, and how can that group help them?
Yes, we definitely get lots of people who are new to business, and Ewomen Network is fantastic for that because that's getting them plugged in right away to not just the local community, which of course they get the connections there of other women who are also building their businesses locally, but they get connected to women across North America. With Ewomen Network, it's connected more than 500,000 women across 6 countries and 118 chapters in North America. And when you become an Ewomen Network member, you get access to all of those people creating their businesses. And so maybe, I'll just use my profession, coaching, for it as an example, because there tend to be a lot of coaches out there. And when you're connecting with someone in another community, you get to learn about what's working well for them. So you don't have that sense of competition, really, at all. It's so much more about collaboration. I love that, number one, just getting plugged in, connected to the local community and then the larger community. And I also love that, and this was the reason I joined Ewomen Network those 3 years ago, is that there are women who've been working their businesses for years, who've built successful businesses and are growing them to that $1 million mark and beyond. And when I saw those women in the room, I said, okay, that is what I want for my business. Those are the women I know I need to be around so that I can grow my business in a way that's sustainable, that's growing, that's flourishing, and hopefully one day to have my business at the $1 million level or higher.
Mm-hmm. What I've found too is that there's a transformation that happens. So they come in, they go to the meetings, they start to network, and to use an analogy, my husband said to me the other day, when I row with when I row with better people, I become a better rower. So when I am working with people who are ahead of me, I'm going to become a better entrepreneur. So what opportunities do they have locally that they can meet these entrepreneurs with the Ewomen Network?
We have a couple of formal meetings that we have every month. One's an accelerated networking dinner, and that's where we come together. We get a couple of chances to share about our business, which is fantastic, and we also get to learn about the other businesses so that we can lift as we climb, as one of the mottos for Ewomen Network. And that's to help connect other women in business with people in the community, either ideal clients, potential partners, collaborators for their businesses, and form friendships. I was just speaking to someone today, and she said, the reason I joined Ewomen Network, I don't know that I'm going to get a lot of clients there, but I wanted a group of women that I could connect with. Women who are growing businesses, who will have my back and will support me while I'm building this new business for myself. And, those relationships that you create there over time is pretty phenomenal.
And I found, too, that your client may not be in the room, but they know somebody who could be a client of theirs, right?
Oh, absolutely. And there are tons of women who are doing business with each other in that room as well. And for those who are going after this particular person I was talking to, it's primarily a male-dominated market in lumber. So she has a very good point. There will not be a lot of women in the room. However, will they know people in the lumber industry? Absolutely. Guaranteed there will be connections there for her.
What about the other meetings that you have? So you have strategic business introductions.
Yes, the second kind of meeting that we have, yes, strategic business introductions. These are a smaller, more intimate group event, and what I love about that is it creates this environment where we can bring forward questions or challenges that we have, either in our business and sometimes personally, and get input and advice from the other women. It's a really great way. This is a lot of the feedback I get, is it's a way for people to give back to others while they're receiving at the same time. And the purpose of the strategic business introduction is to get input, to have a mastermind or a wisdom circle of women and a few good men providing input on your business. And it's really amazing what can come forward.
We do welcome men. They're called emails.
Yeah. And usually the emails who step into membership with the Ewomen Network, they're fantastic people. Yeah. And they're really comfortable being in a group of a lot of women. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And one of them in particular owns a retail store for furniture, so he does extremely well. Okay, so how do people connect with you on that?
They can call me. They can visit the Ewomen Network website and look for Victoria. They can go to our public Facebook page on Facebook. I guess it's on Facebook if it's a Facebook page, and send me a direct message. My phone number, and this is my cell, so you can text me if you'd like, 250-813-1761, or you can email Erin Acton at ewomennetwork.com. And the Ewomen Network is ewomennetwork.com.
Right. It's EWOMENNETWORK. So a lot of people say eWomen's. It's not. It's Ewomen Network, which is a plural. Okay. And then, so what are your next steps for this group?
My vision for this chapter, I would love to see 80 to 100 members at each and every, not just members, but guests at each and every meeting. Some of the other chapters that do this in other parts of North America, they are raising significant funds for the Ewomen Network Foundation, which is the charitable part of Ewomen Network. And they're just doing some really amazing things. The electricity that comes from those chapters who have just the thriving kind of like this, the bubbly, I can't describe it very well right now, but it's like the
effervescence.
Yeah, effervescence. It's an electricity that happens when you get a room of businesswomen together. We have fantastic meetings, and I'm just looking to make them even more special. Like, if you could say, oh, do you want to be you, but even more you? I'd be like, yes, I do. Can I just step into that? So it's like the same thing for our meeting as well. Make it even more special than it already is.
And actually, to tie on to that, we do have a regional page, Ewomen Network Northwest, which people can join. And so what some of the members have done, have actually communicated with other members in other cities. And what you were talking about before, they realize that they don't need to play in their own box, that they can go out and They can learn from somebody who's not competing against them, and they can go to their meetings. And they do not have to be a member to come to the meetings initially. There is a benefit, obviously, to membership. So what are the benefits?
The benefits to membership are getting connected to really amazing women in the community who are members and getting to meet them on a really regular basis. You also get complimentary coaching calls through Ewomen Network. They have these amazing business coaches that they've hand-selected and hand-picked that you get to spend 2 coaching sessions with on various areas of your business. There are also, you get to be a member at any chapter across North America. So someone else I was speaking to today, she travels a lot for her business. And I said, hey, did you know we have chapters where you're going? And she said, oh my gosh, I had no idea. So she's a member there. I'll be introducing her to the managing directors there so that when she walks in, she gets a nice warm welcome. And she's seen as an Ewomen Network member there, and expanding her network just because she happens to be traveling in the area and building those connections. So that's definitely a big one. And lots of others too.
I find, well, it's a social interaction. There's a lot that happens in between. There's the giving back through the foundation. What I was surprised at was how many people, when I look at it now, that I know across North America.
Yes, I am really actually surprised by that too. Just a quick example, I turned 40 last year, and my sisters gifted me a trip to Calgary to go shopping, which is a lot of fun. And so I thought, you know what, I'd love to celebrate with some people. So I reached out to the folks that I knew in Calgary. It turned out I knew a ton of people in Calgary. And when I looked back, I was like, oh, they're an Ewomen Network member, they're an Ewomen Network member, they're an Ewomen Network member. We had 20 people at this brunch, this impromptu brunch that I called. And the majority of them were Ewomen Network members, just because of the connections that we've made here. So it's just so great. I love it.
Yeah, so if you're interested in joining, go to ewomennetwork.com and check out the Victoria chapter and give Erin a call at
250-813-1761.
Okay, so if you're interested in knowing about how to improve your business and you want to take it to the next level, Erin Acton is the person for you, your business coach, and they can reach you through that. How?
Yes, you can go to erinacton.com or Erin at erinacton.com, ERINACTON. And I like to say, stop dreaming about it and act on it.
Whoa. Okay, so I'm Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun. I love that line, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
If you're interested in knowing more about Ewomen Network, contact Erin. If you're interested in knowing more about real estate in the Maplewood area, contact me. I can be reached at 250-744-0775. And, you know, we're always looking for guests. So if you're interested, if you're an entrepreneur who has a local business, we'd love to hear from you and have you on our show. And we'd love to hear about where you live and how you can entice other people to live in this gorgeous city that we live in. Take care and welcome to the neighborhood. Bye.
Welcome to the neighborhood. We hope you have had some insight into West Coast living. If you know of someone or someplace that should be highlighted in our podcast, we'd love to hear from you. Please go to VancouverIslandTime.com and click on our Connect button. See you next week on Vancouver Island Time with Jane Johnston.